Hello and welcome to one more English lesson. Yeah, as we always do, as we always go, and we are gonna work on science class. Okay, of course, it's science using English language. Okay, so we are gonna learn science. Following the curriculum, yeah, that we follow on regular schools. Okay, but of course, also we're gonna learn and improve our English skills, our English vocabulary, and everything that it's possible. Okay. Anyway, so let's go on the topic. Today we are gonna move on our lesson. Okay. If you were following me, if you were watching the lessons that we have been, doing, you remember that last lesson we worked on the mixture. Yeah, like how does it work and what are the materials that normally we use and what kind of materials that we use it as an example. Yeah, to explain the way that we work on that. So we're gonna move on that topic today. So please move on to page 59. Yeah, and now I'm gonna share the screen with you. Okay, so just follow me and let it go. So this is on separating. Oh, give me just a second. Let me just organize here. Okay, yeah. So I'm just gonna separate things. Okay, just gonna organize uh, the page here. Yeah, as you can see. Right, let me just give me a second. Okay, and let's go on. So follow me. Separating mixture. Okay, so we were talking about mixture and we're gonna learn and we're gonna read a little bit of how to separate that. Okay, so let's go on. So this is the title, right? Okay, and here we have the subheading. So follow me. Let's read it. On filtering, filtering, separating solid bits from a liquid. Again, separating solid bits from a liquid. So this is what we're gonna work today. So follow me. So okay, again, I'm gonna read one more time for you. Filtering is a bit, filtering, separating solid bits from a liquid. This is filtering. So let's read this first explanation here and follow me. Filtering is a bit like sieving, really. Only this time you are passing a mixture of a solid and a liquid through a mesh. The mesh stops the solid bits, but the liquid goes through. Again, I'm gonna read that again for you, so listen carefully. If you don't remember the words, okay, so just check the words and keep that in mind, okay? Again, filtering is a bit like sieving, really. Only this time you are passing a mixture of a solid and a liquid through a mesh, and the mesh stops the solid bits, but the liquid goes through. Okay, so that's the thing. So the things that we have to remember, we have to have in mind here. So do you know filtering? Do you know that word here? Okay, filter, right? I'm gonna read a definition for you of filter. Okay, filtering. And listen to that. I'm gonna get back to me. Okay, so I'm gonna read for you. Listen to this. When you filter something, what is it? O que é isso? So when you filter, it means that an object or a piece of equipment that allows you, this is a filter, okay, you to remove solid parts that are not wanted from a liquid or a gas. So this is the meaning of this thing right now, okay? So which means what is when you filter something, yeah, let's suppose that you have a liquid, you have like, yeah, this material, let's suppose a liquid, and there are some substances, different substances inside of the liquid, and you want to separate that, like you want to divide, I don't know, maybe the blue from the red, so you put then, like, you throw it actually, yeah, on through a mesh, and then you divide, and normally the liquid goes and the other parts of the, I don't know, maybe a different material will stay on the mesh. So by that you are filtering, you are eliminating what you don't want from what you want, you are separating that. So this is when you filter something. Got? So I hope you have no problem with that. And let's go on. Let's get back. Okay, so and what are the other words that we have here? We have solid, we have liquid, we have mesh, and bits, and liquid goes through. Okay, so these words, solid, liquid, mesh, and bits, okay, if you don't know, of course, I'm gonna ask you to check that for me. Okay, what is the meaning of these words? Yeah, what are the meaning of these words? So get in all of them: solid, liquid, mesh, and bits, and goes through. Yeah, these red words. Make, yeah, a memo. Okay, write down these words on your notebook and write the translation, the Portuguese translation for that, okay? Because they are important words. So please, this is one homework for you, okay? Again, teacher, what I have to do, I'm gonna get solid, liquid, mesh, bits, and goes through, and I'm gonna put them on a notebook and write down the translation, Portuguese translation, right? So if it's okay, let's analyze here. We have some samples here, right? So check it out that we have three samples here in yellow, okay? I just gonna move my head to the other side. And actually I'm gonna make my head disappear for a while, okay? So to make it easier for you to see. So focus on that, okay? So let's see some examples. We have this first one here, okay? As you can see, I'm gonna read here for you. So please follow me. A tea strainer keeps the tea leaves out of the cup of tea. Again, a tea strainer keeps the tea leaves out of the cup of tea. Okay, so in that case here, right, when we say leaves, okay, and it's not the verb, but it's like leaves. I mean, it's a noun. Okay, it's like the name of the thing. Okay, like this. Okay, teacher, what is leaves? These are leaves. Okay, so you get it. Okay, so these are leaves. Okay, and the strainer, which is this black thing here, this black material, let me get a little bit closer. Okay, check it out. This is the strainer. Okay, and so this will prevent the leaves, teacher, what are the leaves, these things here, okay, to go through them, so we only get the liquid. So this is what a strainer uh do. Okay, so easy, no problem for you. Okay, so yeah, so let's go on. And by the way, do you know what is a strainer in Portuguese? Do you know the meaning of that? Do you know strainer? I don't know, right? So in Portuguese, normally, yeah, we say filtro, okay? For example, imagine you are making a coffee, okay? You're making coffee. So, while you are making that, yeah, when you are putting the powder, yeah, and you're gonna mix that with the water, normally we have a strainer, right? We have this kind of a filter, yeah? So why is that, okay? So because the powder will go through, in that case, if we are talking about tea, yeah, the leaves maybe, and then you only will get the liquid on the other side and not the leaves mixture, because it's not very, I mean, good to drink, right? But this is the work of a strainer, yeah? É um filtro, né? Se a gente tá falando de café, a gente fala coador em português, right? So these are the meaning, okay? Actually, this is the meaning. No problem for you. So let's get back there, okay? Let's get back and continue. So that's, yeah, that's about the first one, and let's see the second one here. Okay, we have this picture here, right? There's like this water, sand, some stones, and looks like a dirty water. Yeah, can you see here the dirty water? Do you know what is a water? Okay, we have clean water and we have dirty water. Dirty water is water that is mixed with trash, yeah, things that we cannot drink, yeah, pollution actually. Okay, and so that's why the color of the water is different. Okay, so this is dirty water, and inside here, I mean inside, actually under, we have some stones, yeah, as we can see, the name is here, and under the stones we have sand. Okay, and then under everything, under the stone and under the sand, we have the clean water. So down below the blue, clean water, and up the top, dirty water. That's why we have the difference on the color. Okay, so of course, by looking at the picture, right, only the fact that we look at the picture, we can see that the filter here, yeah, like what is, I don't know, maybe making this filtering. Okay, uh what material are, I mean, what are the materials that uh, are being used, yeah, to do this is sand and stones. So that's why we're gonna read right now, okay? And we have this thing here. So read with me. Filter beds are used to clean water. They say bed because it looks like a bed, right? You put sand and you put stone over that, yeah, okay? And dirty water is passed through a filter, like goes through here, okay? And a filter bed, and clean water goes back to the river. So the dirty water, yeah, goes through the stone and sand, and after when it passes through, yeah, we have clean water because all the dirty will stay here between the stones and the sand, yeah, because they are gonna work as a filter. Okay, so this is the meaning of the part here. Okay, not a big deal, right? Is everything clear? Is everything okay for everybody up to here? I hope so, right? So let's continue, okay? Let's continue, yeah, up to this part here, okay? And if we look here in this picture, right? We have a jar, yeah? That's why we have the name here. There is a jar. And again, we have descriptions of the products and of the materials that uh, that they are here on this picture. So let's see. We have large stones, which are stones, normal stone, but large. We have small stones, a lot under the large stones. Yeah, we have sand again, right? And we have under that we have a cloth. Okay, I'm gonna put the pronunciation for you. Okay, let me put it. Give me a second. Listen to the pronunciation, please. One, two, three.
Cloth.
Cloth, right? Okay, so we have a cloth. Okay, so teacher, what is that? What is cloth, sand, small stones, large stones? I believe you already know that, right? I guess you, my student, have seen these words before, right? But if you don't, so let's go, okay? Large stones, stones, pedras, but large. Small stones, stones, again, pedra, but small, pequeno, right? And then after, sand, sand, where we see sand, when we go to the beach, there are, yeah, plenty of sand, right? So sand, areia, okay? And after we have a cloth. Cloth é pedaço de pano, é tecido, okay? That are, for example, in this example here, they are using that like to, as a filter again, over, yeah, the jar, yeah? Over the glass jar, the jar made of glass, right? So that's why we have then here. You see, of course, again here they're gonna use it, yeah, to probably clean the liquid that will be here, yeah. So anyway, let's read that. So check it out here. You can make a homemade filter bed using different size stones, a pot, and a jar and a jam jar. Okay, again, you can make a homemade filter bed using different size stones. Example, a pot and a jam jar, right? So when we say we can make a homemade filter bed, it means that we can make this bed here. Wait a minute, I'm gonna change the color, okay? Let me change the color just to make things clearly, okay? We can make this bad, but this one here looks natural, right? Looks like a nature, right? Isso parece que foi feito naturalmente. Vamos supor que você já estava na natureza, né? Que areia e pedra é possível encontrar, right? But you can make that, you know? That's why we have a homemade, feito em casa, okay? So we can make a sample one like this, but artificial one, okay? That's why it's called homemade. So you can make one and then you can test it by yourself in your house. Yeah, you can get um, you can get dirt water and make this, like this artificial, let's say, right? Um, filter bed, okay, and then you can test by yourself. You put dirty water on the top, and then you wait for, I don't know, for a couple hours or days. And when all the water goes through, you're gonna see that the color of the water, I mean, it's different. Yeah, you're gonna see that something has changed. So this is how we know, oh, it really cleaned it up, right? So let's get back. Let's get back here, okay? And we have this last part here, right? This last example down below. Again, we have like this jar, this pot, whatever. So let's read that. You can use filter paper to separate very fine solids from liquid. Okay? The liquid can pass through the paper, but the fine solids can't. Okay, so this word fine thing, let's see this word here. This is a very interesting word. Let's understand a little bit about that. Okay, so fine, right? What is that? I mean, everybody knows the word fine. Like, oh, how are you? I'm fine, thanks, good. So this is one way to use that word, but there is another way to use that, you know? And I'm gonna give an example to you, okay? So one of the ways to use fine, yeah, and we are gonna use that as an adjective, okay? But the meaning is gonna be a little bit different. Listen to that. I'm gonna read for you. If you say that some material is fine, okay, one of the ways that you can explain that is that this thing is very thin and narrow, not thick, not heavy. Okay, again, it's very thin and narrow. Okay, example, I've got very fine hair, which is my hair is very thin. Okay, or let me say, okay, so oh, take a look on the table. Everything was covered with a fine layer of dust. Yeah, with a fine, como uma pequenininha, fina layer, camada of dust, de areia, de poeira, right? So we can use in that way. Something fine, also algo bem fino, pode ser usado dessa maneira também, alright? Além de algo bom, né? Oh, I'm fine, estou bem, right? No problem. I hope you get it, right? Let's continue. Okay, so then we go to this last part here. Okay, can you see that? Again, I mean, I'm gonna continue without my face on the screen, okay, because it's easier to see and maybe better to understand. Okay, anyway, so we have this next word, right? Before I read that for you, listen to the pronunciation. Okay, listen to that. Hi, 1, 2, 3.
Evaporation.
Evaporation, right? So separating. Okay, that's another good word. Listen to that. Okay, I will try. You know, like especially difficult words. I will always show you the native pronunciation first, and after I give my pronunciation. Okay, because I mean, you can learn from the original version, right? Listen to that. So, evaporation, separating.
Soluble.
Soluble, solids from water. Again, separating soluble solids from water. Okay, and then we have this point here. You can't filter off a solid when it's dissolved. Okay, again, sorry, I said I would always show you. Yeah, the, how can I say the original version? But listen to that.
Dissolve.
Okay, so again, dissolved, dissolved, like a Z, dissolved actually goes more like that. Okay, so again, just for you to listen to.
Dissolve.
Dissolve. Okay, ed, dissolved. Okay, so again, you can't filter off a solid when it's dissolved in liquid, and the liquid has to be heated. I mean, has to be hot, so that it evaporates into the air, leaving the solid behind. Okay, so I hope you are understanding that. Teacher, what I have to do on this page? Dissolved, heated, and behind. Translate these three words for me, okay? Again, so I'm gonna read one more time. You can't filter off a solid when it's dissolved in liquid. The liquid has to be heated so that it evaporates into the air, leaving the solid behind, okay? And again, if you want to see more information, there is more about evaporation on page 47, okay? Anyway, and going down below here, we have like this picture here. Can you see that? This one, and we have this second picture, and we have this third picture. And of course, there are some information about it, and we're gonna, we're gonna read that information, and let's see if we understand what we have here. Okay, so number one, look at that. Sugar dissolves in water to make a solution. Teacher, what is solution? I told you that last lesson. Okay, what is solution? If you don't remember, of course I'm gonna help you. Okay, so what is that? Do you remember what is a solution? In, I mean, in Portuguese, actually, we use the same name, we say solução, okay? But it's not solução de solve a problem, not this one, okay? Solution like a mixture, okay? When you mix something, for example, if you get sugar and if you mix it into the water, okay, it's gonna mix and it's gonna become something new, some new product. But how can you say that, teacher? Okay, get water, natural water, without anything, uh, artificial into that, right? Or any other kind of material, okay? So water is gonna have like a specific taste, right? When you drink it, oh, this is water. But if you mix sugar into that, you're gonna see that the taste is gonna change, right? So if the taste changes, it means that the product itself, also changed. It's not the same water as it was before, okay? And once we know that, so we have a solution. Nós temos a solução, essa mistura. All right? So that's why sugar. And they gave the example here. So let's continue. So this is the first one. The second one, heat the solution. This is the process. So we have to heat it. Teacher, I forgot what it is, to put fire and make it hot. Teacher, again, what is heat? We're gonna put fire on something and make it hot. We're gonna make the temperature goes high, okay? Heat é esquentar alguma coisa, right? And then we have number 3. Let's analyze that. The water evaporates. So this is the process, yeah, evaporation, right? I I think there is no need for explanation for that, right? You have to know that, right? If you don't know, search that and then write down the translation, okay? And then number 4, for sure, we have solid sugar is left behind or behind, okay? So what happens here is that if you mix them, they're gonna become a new product. If you heat it and let the water evaporate, you're gonna see that the water will disappear, okay? And then the only thing that will be left inside of the pot, yeah, inside of this pan, yeah, it's gonna be the solid sugar, okay? Teacher, what is solid sugar? Açúcar solidificado, né? Aquela coisa, né? Mais densa, pedaço, né? De açúcar endurecido, right? So why? Because the water has, all the water has evaporated. Okay, so of course there is no water anymore there, only the sugar. And how we know that, teacher? Because before we had mixed it both together. So this is the process. This is how this evaporation system works. Got it? No problem? Amazing. So if it's everything okay, let's go to the next part. Okay, as you can see, and we move it to the next page, which is page 16, okay? And we are going to continue on the same topic, separating mixtures, okay? But now we're going to check some different example, right? So take a look here on the subheading, right? Oh, sorry, where is my pen? Right here. Okay, so separating a mixture of salt, sand, and water. Again, salt, sand, and water. Okay, so these are the 3 products that we're gonna analyze. So again, I'm gonna read for you. Just follow me. Okay, and we have here again the picture. Yeah, and inside of this pot. Yeah, this material here that they use for tests. Yeah, and we have 3 products. We have water, we have salt, and we have sand. Okay, 3 different products. Teacher, I don't know what are they. Google that, get the translation, because I have already told them. Okay, so of course you have to know that. So let's see. These mixtures is made of sand, salt, and water, as I told you before. Okay, and let's read here the process. Okay, how it works. So to separate a mixture like this, you need to filter and evaporate the mixture. Filtering separates out the, wow, Let's listen to this word. Let's listen to this word, okay? And listen to that. Insoluble. Let me see. Let me try to. Okay, so listen to that. One, two, three.
Insoluble.
Okay. Filtering separates out the insoluble sand, and evaporating separates out the soluble salt. Okay. Teacher, I forgot. What is insoluble and soluble? I forgot what is that. Okay. I'm gonna read the definition for you. Listen carefully, okay? And I'm gonna read that in English because I have already told you the Portuguese version for that, as far as I know. So listen to insoluble, teacher. An insoluble substance does not dissolve and disappear when you put it into liquid, okay? If it's something insoluble, it means that when you mix that with a liquid, water or any other kind of liquid, this substance will not disappear, right? It's going to be visible there. On the other hand, soluble products like salt, sugar, if you mix that with water, it becomes invisible. Again, it's changed, yeah, for sure. The liquid maybe gets a different taste, something happens, but but you cannot see it anymore because it mixture in a way with the water that the water gets a different. It it just disappear. That's the idea here. You got it? So that is the meaning of these two words. Okay, so getting back and going down a little bit more, yeah, we have this second example here. Check it out with me, which is number one, and let's read that. Filter. So first, you need to filter the mixture to get the sand back. So that's the first thing that we're gonna do. This is the process. Let's filter it to get the sand. And the salty water goes through the filter paper because it's very thin, right? And it mixes in a way that it disappear. So it's gonna go through the filter paper into a beaker, yeah? Okay. So and the sand stays in the filter paper. Okay, so again, there is this picture here on my head. Can you see that? Right. So here again we have the beaker, we have the filter here made of paper, and then there is the water mixture, that is mixed with sand and salty, right? And then it goes through. The sand will be held back here because because it's thicker, yeah, because this filter is able to stop it. But of course, the salty water, yeah, it's really fine, yeah, it's really thin, so it's gonna go through and it stays inside of the beaker of this pot, okay, of this plastic um, recipient, whatever, right? Okay. So again, we could stop the sand, but we couldn't stop the salt. So that's why we go to the second part. Yeah, we go to this second example here. Let's continue reading that. Okay. So again, look here above my head, right? Can you see that? And let's go. So number two, evaporate. Then the salt and water mixture is warmed. You have to make it hot to evaporate off the water. This leaves the solid salt behind in the dish. Again, so what we did here, we evaporated the water. How we did that? We put fire under the water. The water got really hot, so the water evaporates. Okay, water vapor. Yeah, that's we have the word here, water vapor. And then as it evaporates, the salt stays in the water because by heating that is the way that we separate things. Okay, and then in the end you have only the salt because all the water disappears because it has evaporated. Okay, you got it. Not a big deal. Not a big problem, right? I think it's really easy to understand that, right? And if it's everything okay, we go to this next part, right? Which is, I guess, is the last part, okay? So number three, let's listen to the pronunciation of this word, right? So follow me. Condn. Yeah. So one, two, three. Let's listen to that.
Condense.
Condense. Okay. So condense, to collect the water the water vapor must be cooled. Cooled is the opposite of heating, okay? To turn it back into a liquid, okay? Again, condense to collect the water. You get the water, and the water vapor must be cooled. You have to make the vapor get cooled, yeah, get cold. That's the point that I want to say here, okay? And then when it happens, it turns back into liquid, yeah. It changes the state, yeah, of the material, okay? So let's see here. Remember, in the last part we were studying, yeah, again on the top of my head here, that yeah, the water had turned it into water vapor, yeah. So it was like an, I mean, on the air, in the air, yeah. And then it heats, yeah, it hits a cold surface, an area where it's really cold, okay? So, and then what happened when it gets an area that it's really cold? It happens the, okay, let's again, let's listen to the wait a minute, to the condense, to the native speaking, right? To native pronunciation. Listen to that.
Condensation.
Condensation, okay? So condensation forms, okay? Of course, yeah. It was before, it was vapor, yeah. It was and then it went up because it was only like vapor, yeah, only gas, and kind, yeah, it looks like gas actually. And then as it heated, yeah, and very cold area, a cold surface, so the water changed its state, let's say, right? Okay, before it was vapor, now it became like liquid again because the temperature has changed. That's the reason why, okay? And then it drops down, as we can see here, the drops of water, yeah, and became liquid again. So this is how it works. I guess not so complicated to understand, right? Are you guys understanding that? I mean, are you getting? Are you understanding like what I am explaining to you? Okay, so this is the system and how it works. So now I'm gonna read the last part, and it's really simple. I'm gonna read that in English. Maybe I'm gonna explain some words. Okay, I overthink now, and of course I'm gonna ask for you to translate the last part for sure. Okay, so let's go on and let's go now. Okay, so now we have this last part here. Yeah, down as you can see on the camera, right? Mixtures get and sorted. Again, mixtures get and sorted. Okay, sure, of course, this one here. Okay, it's a kind of it's like get then sorted. Okay, get then. Of course, here they made like a joke. Yeah, they use it as we have a T here, so and then like they created these new words. Of course, this is not irregular vocabulary, right? But get then, what does that teach? It's basically get then, okay? It's the same thing, right? And so don't worry about it, okay? Anyway, so mixtures, get them sorted. Okay, teacher, I don't know what is sorted, so find out. What is that in Portuguese? Homework for you, okay? So homework, sort out. Anyway, I'm gonna read for you. Just listen to that. You need to know what you've got to do to separate solids from water. Of course, you have to know that. Remember, it depends on whether or not the solids actually dissolved in the water. And now would probably be a good time to remind you that things don't disappear when they dissolve. And even though you can't always see them, okay? So of course, before I said, yeah, like they kind of disappear. They disappear, but I mean, of course, they don't disappear. They are there, okay? They mix with the other one, and something new, I mean, is created. Anyway, it's still there, right? But sometimes you cannot see that, like when you mix sugar in the water, right? Especially if you have a lot of water. I mean, you cannot see the sugar anymore, right? Anyway, so again, um, to remind you that things don't disappear when they dissolve, even though you can't always see them, and they're still there. So if you evaporate the liquid off, you will get the solid back again. So if you evaporate the liquid off, you will get the solid back again. If you, again, as we had an example, right? If you mix, for example, sugar and water, and then if you heat the water will evaporate, and then what will last, I mean, what will be after heating all the water, after all the water being evaporated, will be you're gonna see that the remainings on the fridge, yeah, inside of that will be the sugar, yeah. Like, of course it's gonna be like in solid state, right? But it's gonna be there, okay? So basically is that's what I've read here. So teacher, what I have to do with this text, everything here, this whole text, you have to put that to Portuguese. Simple like that, okay? Not a big deal, not so complicated, simple like this. And that's it, guys, okay? So do that for me, okay? Of course, if you have some doubts, anything, just go back, yeah, go a little bit back on the video, yeah, watch the lesson again, make sure and do the homework, everything that I have asked today, right? So thanks a lot, and of course, yeah, I hope you have had a very good holiday, right? Because now we are starting again this new year 2023, and we have we have a lot of work to do, right? So of course, see you next time, the same day, and thanks for your time always. A big hug from your teacher, and see you. Bye bye. Take care, guys. And of course, see you next time. Take care, guys.